The sky above the earth had never looked so strange. Red streaks cut across the horizon, and satellites twinkled like warning lights. In the control room of the United Nations Space Command, alarms blinked, echoing through the silent corridors. "This is not a drill," said Commander Harris, his voice firm but tight. "We have received a transmission from beyond our galaxy." Lieutenant Sarah Chen leaned forward, her eyes fixed on the main screen. The message was brief, almost too direct. "Earth, send your soldiers. Now." The words repeated in an alien language beneath the English translation, cold and demanding. Harris rubbed his temples. No names, no reasons, just a demand. And it's very clear. They expect obedience. Sarah exchanged a glance with Major Khan. They could be bluffing or testing us. Do we even know if they can reach Earth? "They can," Harris said. "We've traced the signal, the power. Required, no human-made ship could ever send that. Whatever they are, they're serious." Across the room, analysts typed furiously, scanning star maps, attempting to find the origin of the message. "Commander," one of them called. "We've pinpointed the source. It's in the Zeta Quadrant, roughly 12,000 light-years from here." Sarah's brow furrowed. 12,000 light-years? That's impossible. They can't even reach us that fast, can they? Harris shook his head. "That's the problem. We don't know their speed or their intentions. But the tone, it's not a request, it's a threat." A silence filled the room, heavy and tense. Then the screen flickered again. This time the alien voice spoke, deep and almost melodic. "Refuse, and your world will burn. Send your warriors, or face extinction." Sarah's stomach twisted. "Extinction?" she whispered. "Yes," Harris said. "They're not joking." He stood and walked to the large map of Earth and nearby space. "We have two options: comply and risk sending our people into something unknown, or refuse and prepare for a fight we might not survive." From the back, a young officer spoke. Commander, could this be a trick? Maybe they want our soldiers as bait, or worse," Harris said. "They want to test us. They want to see what humans can do. Either way, we need to act fast." The council debated long into the night. Scientists argued, politicians worried, and military strategists calculated every possible scenario. No one could agree. Finally, Harris slammed his fist on the table. "Enough! We can't wait. If they have the power to threaten us, we must show them that Earth is not defenseless." Sarah watched him, uneasy. "But our soldiers, we can't just throw them into an alien war. We don't even know what we're dealing with." Harris looked at her, his eyes hard. "We're not sending soldiers. We're sending the best. The ones who have no fear, no hesitation, the ones who can survive anything." Sarah swallowed. "You mean executioners?" Harris nodded. "Exactly. Ruthless humans who can fight, like no one else. They'll represent Earth, and maybe scare these aliens into respecting us." A sudden alert blared across the room. The alien ship, previously invisible, appeared on the tracking screens, a dark silhouette against the stars. It was massive, unlike any known spacecraft. Its surface shimmered with strange energy, and Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. "They're close," she whispered. "They've been close all along," Harris said. "And now they're watching." Across the globe, in secret bases, the best soldiers of Earth were being briefed. None of them knew why they were chosen, only that their skills were unmatched and failure was not an option. In one isolated training facility, a man named Alex crouched over a target, his eyes sharp. "You're selected," the officer said. "You leave in 24 hours. Destination unknown." Alex didn't flinch. "Do I know the enemy?" "Not. Yet that's classified," the officer replied. He nodded. "Then I guess I'm ready to learn. On the battlefield." Meanwhile, the aliens' demands grew more insistent. Another message arrived, more direct, almost impatient. "Time is short. Your world's fate is in your hands. Send warriors, or die." Sarah and Harris watched it silently. "They're pushing us," she said. "They want to see how fast we act." Harris frowned. "And they think they can intimidate us. That's the mistake. They don't understand. Humans." A sudden power fluctuation made the lights flicker. The room plunged into semi-darkness. On the screen, the alien ship shifted, moving closer to the solar system. Everyone froze. "They're coming," said a voice behind them. "Yes," Harris said. "And by the time we know their plan, it might be too late." Sarah's mind raced. How do we prepare soldiers for something we cannot even imagine? By reminding them of who they are, Harris said quietly. Humans are survivors. Hunters, warriors. We don't just fight, we endure, we adapt, we dominate. They may demand soldiers, but we will send executioners. The room fell silent again, the tension almost unbearable. Outside, the night sky seemed darker than ever, the stars distant and cold. The message repeated itself, now with a subtle, eerie resonance. "Send your soldiers, or face extinction." Sarah swallowed hard. "Do we even know what they mean by extinction?" Harris shook his head. "Not exactly, but one thing is certain. Whatever comes next, Earth will not go quietly, and our executioners will make sure of it. Far away in hidden bunkers and secret bases, the chosen humans prepared. Weapons were checked, armor adjusted, and minds steeled. They didn't speak of fear. They spoke of purpose, of the unknown enemy they would face. And somewhere in the cold void of space, the alien observers waited, unaware that humanity was not sending soldiers. They were sending predators. The countdown had begun. And when the alien fleet arrived, it would discover that Earth had answered in the most unexpected way. The morning sun had barely risen, casting a cold light over the military base. Inside, the air was tense, electric with anticipation. Soldiers lined up in rows, their faces grim but determined. The special task force, chosen for this dangerous mission, stood waiting. No one spoke, no one asked questions. The orders were clear. General Michaels walked through the ranks, his boots echoing on the cold concrete floor. He wasn't a man for small talk. He was a man of action. "Listen up," he said, his voice booming. "You've been selected for a mission that will change the fate of Earth. The enemy is coming, and it's your job to make sure they regret it." The soldiers stood taller at the mention of their task. Major Sarah Carter stood in the back, her eyes fixed on the ground. She had fought in many wars, faced enemies no one had survived. But this was different. This was not a fight, she understood, and it made her uneasy. The general continued, "You've all been handpicked. You're the best of the best. What makes you different from the others? You're ruthless. You don't hesitate. You don't show mercy. You end wars. You don't fight them." Sarah clenched her fists. She was good at what she did, but this was something else. She wasn't just a soldier. She was a weapon, and weapons had no feelings. Across the room, Alex, one of the chosen soldiers, stood with his arms crossed. His eyes were cold, his expression unreadable. He had a reputation for being the best when it came to tactics and stealth. No one moved faster, hit harder, or planned better. But Alex wasn't like the others. He didn't feel pride. He didn't feel fear. He just did what needed to be done. "I don't like it," Sarah whispered to him as they walked toward the weapons bay. "This is insane. They want us to fight an enemy we don't even know. How do we prepare for that?" Alex glanced at her, his eyes sharp. "We don't prepare. We react. We fight. We survive. That's all we can do." As they entered the weapons room, the walls lined with every weapon imaginable. The air seemed to grow heavier. Sarah felt the weight of the situation in the pit of her stomach. This wasn't a war. This was something much darker. The weapons in front of them seemed like toys compared to the task ahead. Sarah's eyes scanned the rows of guns, explosives, and high-tech gadgets. But none of it felt right. Nothing could feel right when you didn't know who or what you were up against. "The ship leaves in 2 hours," General Michaels said from the door. "Get ready. This is your last chance to back out." Alex looked at Sarah, then back at the weapons. "I didn't sign up for this to back out." Sarah nodded, but the doubt was still there. She had killed before. But this felt different. Just then, the door to the room slammed open and a new figure walked in. Captain Ethan Hughes, a man who had fought alongside them in previous operations. He was tall, his face scarred from years of battle. His eyes, though, were steady. He was someone who never hesitated. He was someone who was born for war. "You ready, Carter?" Hughes asked, his voice gruff. She nodded, but her mind was racing. "Are we ever really ready for something like this?" Hughes shrugged. "Doesn't matter, we do it anyway." "Listen up," the general's voice echoed over the loudspeaker, pulling them back to focus. "The mission is simple. Get on the ship, follow orders, and show the enemy that humans don't lose." The soldiers made their way toward the ship, their faces set in grim determination. As they boarded, the quiet hum of the engines filled the air. Sarah could feel the ship lifting off the ground, her heart pounding in her chest. "Where are we going?" she asked, unable to hold it in any longer. General Michaels stood at the front of the ship, his eyes focused on the screen. "We're heading to a planet in the Zeta Quadrant. The aliens are waiting for us, but we're not there to negotiate. We're there to show them that Earth doesn't just send soldiers. We send executioners." "Executioners," Sarah muttered under her breath. She didn't like the sound of that. Alex, standing beside her, gave a small smile. "It's not about the title. It's about what we do. And what we do is win." But even as he said it, there was something in his voice that didn't sit right. With Sarah, Alex wasn't afraid, but even he seemed uncertain. The ship flew through the darkness of space, the stars outside blinking like tiny sparks. As the hours passed, the crew grew more restless. They had no idea what to expect, no idea what awaited them on that alien world. But each soldier knew one thing: there was no turning back. As they approached the alien planet, the view screens displayed nothing but an eerie, shadowed landscape. A planet scarred by war, with no signs of life, just vast, empty plains and broken buildings. "It's a trap," Sarah said, her voice low. "This whole thing is a trap." "No," Alex said, "it's an opportunity. They want to test us. And we're going to show them we're not afraid." The ship descended, landing softly on the alien soil. The doors opened, and the soldiers stepped out onto the strange terrain. The air was thick, the ground uneven. It felt wrong. "Stay." "Sharp," Hughes said, his voice quiet but commanding. "We don't know what we're walking into." The soldiers spread out, scanning the area for signs of movement. The silence was overwhelming, almost suffocating. Then suddenly, a sound, a low, guttural growl. "Get ready," Hughes whispered from the shadows. Shapes began to emerge. Alien creatures, tall and menacing, their eyes glowing in the dark. The soldiers raised their weapons, ready for anything. The first wave of aliens charged. But the humans were faster. They moved as one, coordinated, precise. The aliens were strong, but they were no match for the ruthless efficiency of the humans. Each shot, each strike was calculated to kill. Sarah's heart raced as she fought, her hands steady as she took down one alien after another. But as the battle continued, something strange began to happen. The aliens didn't retreat. They kept coming, more and more, until the soldiers began to feel the weight of the fight. This isn't just a battle, Sarah realized. This is a test. They're seeing how far we'll go. And then, just as the soldiers began to think they had won, the sky above them changed. A massive alien ship appeared, blocking out the stars. It wasn't over. It was just beginning. The human soldiers stood on the alien planet, their eyes scanning the horizon. Smoke rose from the broken ground, and strange red lights flickered across the distance. The massive alien ship hovered above them, silent but menacing. Its shadow fell over the humans like a dark curtain, making the air feel heavier. Major Sarah Carter adjusted her weapon and spoke quietly to Alex. "We should have expected more than just a few creatures. That ship, it's massive. How do we fight something like that?" Alex didn't look away from the sky. "We don't fight it directly. We find its weak points. Every machine, every ship, it has one. We just need to find it." Hughes, standing beside them, scanned the terrain. "And we'll need a plan. This isn't like anything we've faced before. The aliens outnumber us, and that ship can crush us without touching the ground." Sarah's stomach tightened. "So, what? We sneak in? Attack from below?" "Yes," Hughes said. "We move fast, strike hard, and disappear before they can react, like ghosts." The soldiers spread out, moving across the barren terrain with calculated precision. Each step was deliberate, each breath measured. The planet beneath them seemed alive with unseen threats. The wind carried a low hum, almost, like whispers, and the strange red lights flickered across jagged rocks. Suddenly a shrill noise pierced the air. Sarah ducked instinctively as the ground shook beneath her. Alex fired at the source, and a tall, thin alien figure lunged out of the shadows. Its skin was dark, almost metallic, and its eyes glowed bright yellow. The soldiers reacted instantly, coordinated, killing the creature in a single strike. "That's just the scouts," Hughes said, his voice grim. "The main force is still inside the ship. We need to move before more arrive." As they moved forward, the terrain became more treacherous. Deep chasms split the ground, and jagged rocks threatened to tear through their armor. But the soldiers didn't hesitate. They had trained for years for impossible missions. This was just another test. Alex paused near a rocky ridge, looking at the massive ship above. "It's waiting for us. I can feel it. Whatever is inside, it knows we're here." Sarah shivered. "I don't like this. It feels like we're walking into a trap." Hughes glanced at her. "Maybe we are, but humans survive traps. That's what makes us different." They finally reached a narrow canyon that led toward the base of the alien ship. The walls were smooth, almost polished, and pulsed with faint energy. Sarah placed her hand on the surface. "What is this? It's alive." Alex examined it. "It's some kind of energy shield or organic material. Whatever it is, it's strong, but nothing is indestructible." Hughes signaled to the team. "We split into two groups. Sarah, you're with me. Alex, take the others around the back. We hit them at the same time. Timing is everything." The soldiers nodded, moving silently. The tension was thick, each step echoing like a drumbeat in the canyon. Then, without warning, the ship pulsed with a bright red light. A loud mechanical roar filled the air, vibrating the ground beneath them. "What the hell was that?" Sarah shouted over the noise. "Alert system," Hughes replied. "They know we're here. Move!" They ran, ducking under beams of energy fired from the hovering ship. The other team fired back, their weapons cutting through alien drones that emerged from hidden openings. The air was filled with the smell of burning metal and ozone. Sarah glanced at Alex's group through the canyon. They were fighting fiercely, their movements precise. But something was different. The drones didn't attack blindly. They were organized, coordinated. It was as if the ship itself was controlling them. "Alex," Sarah called. "The drones, they're learning. They adapt too fast." Alex didn't answer immediately, focused on taking down another drone with a clean shot. Finally, he spoke into his communicator. "Stay sharp. That's exactly what I was expecting. They're strong, but humans are stronger when they adapt faster." Hughes moved closer to Sarah. "Keep moving. The base of the ship is near. We need to get inside before more reinforcements arrive." As they neared the landing ramp, the ground shook violently. A massive creature emerged from beneath the ship, its body covered in black armor. Its eyes glowed red, and it let out a deafening roar that echoed across the canyon. "Everyone, take cover!" Hughes shouted. The soldiers scattered, firing at the creature. Bullets bounced off its armor, and energy shields flashed in response. Sarah rolled behind a rock, taking aim at its exposed joints. "It's not invincible," she yelled, firing repeatedly. Alex's group arrived from the back, cutting off the creature's retreat. It roared in frustration, swinging its massive arms. One swipe sent 2 soldiers flying, but Alex jumped in, firing a precise shot that struck the creature in its chest. Sparks flew, and it stumbled. "Now!" Hughes yelled. "We move!" The team rushed toward the ramp, firing at the remaining drones. The alien ship's defenses were strong, but the humans were relentless. They moved as one, a coordinated force that refused to back down. Once inside the ship, the environment changed. The walls were metallic, lined with glowing veins of energy. The air was thick, almost electric. Shadows moved across the surfaces, and strange whispers echoed through the corridors. "This place, it's alive," Sarah muttered, her voice barely above a whisper. Alex scanned the surroundings. "It's some kind of neural network controlling everything outside. That creature, the drones, they're all connected. We destroy the network. We destroy them." Hughes nodded. "Then we find it. Fast. They'll know we're here soon." The team moved through the narrow corridors, every step filled with caution and urgency. Shadows shifted, energy pulses lit the walls, and strange creatures skittered across the floor. Each encounter was deadly, but the humans adapted, fought, and survived. Finally, they reached a central chamber, a massive sphere of glowing energy, pulsating like a heart, the network controlling the ship and its drones. Sarah's eyes widened. "That's it, that's what we need to destroy." Alex studied it. "It won't be easy. One wrong move and it will fry the entire ship. Or worse," Hughes clenched his fists, "then we don't get it wrong. For Earth, for everyone counting on us. We end this." As they prepared to strike, the sphere pulsed brighter, almost as if it was aware of their presence. The shadows around them began to move faster, closing in. The humans raised their weapons, hearts racing, ready for the fight that would decide not just this battle, but the fate of their planet. Outside, the alien ship waited, unaware that the executioners had already infiltrated its core. The first strike was about to land, and nothing would be the same again. The central chamber pulsed with energy, the glow reflecting off the faces of the soldiers. Sarah Carter raised her weapon, her hands steady despite the adrenaline pounding in her veins. Alex crouched beside her, scanning for movement. "This is it," he whispered. "One strike, and we either end them or die trying." Hughes nodded. "Remember your training. Focus. Move fast. Kill anything that moves." The sphere of energy in the center of the chamber throbbed, casting long shadows across the walls. It was alive, or at least it seemed alive. The hum of power filled the room, vibrating through their bodies. Sarah swallowed hard. "It's like it knows we're here." "Good," Alex muttered. "Let it know fear. Humans aren't afraid of anything." As they moved closer, the walls shifted. Panels slid open, revealing alien warriors, thin, fast, and armed with energy blades. The creatures hissed, circling the humans like predators. "Take them down!" Hughes shouted. The soldiers attacked with precision. Bullets and energy blasts tore through the air, cutting down the first wave instantly. Sarah ducked under a swipe of a glowing blade, rolling to her feet and firing at the creature. Sparks flew and the alien screamed, collapsing to the ground. Alex moved to intercept another group of attackers. "They're coordinated," he said, dodging a blade, "but they're slow, predictable." Hughes fired rapidly, cutting through a line of attackers. "Keep moving! Don't let them surround you!" The chamber shook violently as the sphere pulsed stronger. Sarah glanced at it. "It's charging. Whatever it's doing, it's about to attack." Alex noticed tendrils of energy extending from the sphere, reaching toward them like living fingers. "Step back, it's trying to fry us." They scrambled, dodging the blasts. The tendrils scorched the floor, melting metal and leaving deep burns. Sarah dove behind a console as a tendril slammed against it, sending sparks flying. Hughes yelled, We need to destroy it now. Alex, you're on the main console. Sarah, cover him. Alex sprinted to the control panel, typing frantically. The tendrils lashed toward him, and he fired his sidearm at one of the advancing aliens, taking it down in a single shot. "Almost there!" he shouted. Sarah kept firing, taking down the remaining warriors, her movements fluid and deadly. Every shot counted, every breath measured. The humans were ruthless, efficient, unstoppable. Suddenly the sphere pulsed brighter, and the room filled with a blinding light. The soldiers shielded their eyes, and when they looked back, a massive alien overlord stood in the chamber. Its armor was black and jagged, and its eyes burned like molten gold. "It's huge," Sarah whispered, gripping her weapon tighter. Hughes growled. "Stay calm. Focus, it's just another enemy." The overlord moved with terrifying speed. In a blur, it struck one soldier down. Another barely rolled out of the way as energy blasts tore across the floor. Sarah's heart raced, but she didn't falter. "We're not dying here," she said through gritted teeth. "We end this, now." Alex reached the console. "I'm initiating overload." The sphere shrieked, energy tendrils flailing wildly. The overlord roared, charging at them. Sarah met it head-on, firing her weapon at its chest. Sparks flew as the bullets hit the armor, barely slowing it down. Hughes joined her, firing relentlessly. "Alex, hurry!" he shouted. The overlord swung, sending Hughes crashing into the wall. Sarah rolled, barely avoiding a lethal strike. "Hughes!" she yelled. He grunted, getting to his feet. "Go, I've got this!" Alex pressed the final sequence. "Now!" The sphere exploded in a massive burst of energy. Light engulfed the chamber, and the overlord screamed as tendrils of energy wrapped around it. Its armor cracked, and it fell to the floor, motionless. The alien warriors that remained were knocked back, their systems disabled by the overload. Sarah collapsed to her knees, breathing heavily. Hughes staggered beside her, blood trickling down his forehead. "We did it," he said, voice hoarse. Alex wiped sweat from his brow. "For now, but that ship, it's not completely down. We've delayed them, but they'll rebuild. They'll come again." Sarah looked around the ruined chamber. The glowing energy from the sphere dimmed, leaving the room silent except for the hum of the damaged ship. "We survived," she said quietly. "But at what cost?" Hughes clenched his fists. "The cost doesn't matter. Humanity survives. We show them that humans don't just fight. We dominate. That's what they'll remember." Alex nodded, eyes still on the screens. "They'll fear us now, but fear isn't enough. We need to make sure they can never challenge us again." The soldiers regrouped, checking each other for injuries. The room was a mess of broken consoles, burned floors, and alien bodies. Sarah helped Hughes to a console, her hands steady despite the adrenaline. "We have to find the command center," she said. "The ship isn't dead yet. If we don't destroy it completely," Alex turned to them, "then we finish what we started, one way or another." Outside, the sky of the alien planet was calm again, but the massive ship above still loomed. Its systems were damaged, but its core energy pulsed faintly like a heartbeat that refused to stop. Sarah stared at it, determination hardening her features. "This isn't the end. It's just the beginning." Hughes placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then let's finish it before they can strike again. Humans don't wait for threats. We take action." Alex glanced at the team. "And when we do, we make sure they remember exactly who they're dealing with. Executioners from Earth." A low hum filled the air, warning them that the ship was powering back up. The soldiers braced themselves, weapons ready, hearts pounding. Outside, the alien skies darkened as clouds swirled with energy. And deep inside, the ship systems flickered to life again. Something ancient, intelligent and deadly had survived the overload. The humans had won the first battle, but the war was far from over. The humans stood in the wreckage of the alien ship, their breathing heavy, bodies tired but alert. The chamber around them was silent now, save for the faint hum of damaged systems. Sarah Carter wiped blood from her cheek, scanning the area. "It's too quiet," she muttered. "Something doesn't feel right." Alex crouched beside her, eyes fixed on the glowing panels of the ship's control system. "You're right. The first wave is gone, but I can sense another force. Something bigger than the overlord we just destroyed." Hughes ran his hand through his hair, frustration in his eyes. "Bigger than that thing? We just barely survived. What could be worse?" Before Alex could answer, a low, rumbling voice echoed through the chamber. It was not mechanical. It was intelligent, commanding, and deep. "Intruders, humans, you destroy my children and yet you survive." "Interesting." Sarah froze. "It's speaking." "Yes," Alex said, his voice tight. "And it's not alone. Whatever we destroyed was only a fraction of its power." Hughes raised his weapon. "Then we finish this. Now!" A hidden door slid open, revealing a vast corridor lined with pulsing energy conduits. Figures moved inside, tall, dark, and armored, but unlike the creatures they had fought before. These were commanders, beings with intelligence and control. Their presence radiated authority. Sarah whispered to Alex, "They're organized, smarter than anything we've faced." Alex nodded. "We've underestimated them. Big mistake." The corridor shuddered as the ship seemed to react, almost alive. Lights flickered, walls pulsed, and strange energy waves swept across the floor. One of the alien commanders raised its hand, and drones outside the ship moved as if in response. Hughes gritted his teeth. "They're calling reinforcements. We need a plan, now." Sarah scanned the team. "We can't fight them all. Not here. Not like this. But we can slow them down, buy time for Earth to prepare." Alex turned sharply. "Earth doesn't need time. Earth has us. We adapt. We fight smarter than they expect. That's the advantage humans have." Hughes nodded, but a shadow of doubt crossed his face. "Smarter doesn't always mean enough. We're already at the edge. If they've got more tricks." A sudden vibration shook the floor. The energy sphere in the center of the ship flickered again, pulsing faster. The alien voice spoke, this time filled with anger. "Your species is dangerous, yet reckless. Do you truly understand what you face?" Sarah gritted her teeth. "We face you. That's all we need to know." Alex studied the panels. "We can shut down the energy core completely. It'll disable their systems and give us control. But it's risky. If we fail, we don't just die. We trigger the ship's self-defense." Hughes looked at him, tension in his jaw. "Then we succeed. No one else can do it." The soldiers moved cautiously down the corridor, every step measured. Shadows twisted across the walls, and the air shimmered with energy. Sarah felt an uneasy sensation, as if the ship was aware of their every move. From the side chamber, the alien commanders emerged, blocking the path. They moved quickly, surrounding the humans. One of them raised its hands, releasing a wave of energy that pushed Sarah back. She rolled to her feet, firing at the commander. Sparks flew, but the alien barely flinched. Alex yelled, "Split! We! Go around them, now!" The soldiers divided into two groups, moving through narrow side passages. The corridors twisted unnaturally, confusing and disorienting. Sarah's heart raced as she kept pace with Hughes, dodging energy blasts and alien attacks. "Where are they taking us?" Sarah shouted over the noise. "To the core," Hughes replied. "That's where we end this." Alex and his team approached the control chamber from another entrance. Panels of energy flickered, and the sphere in the center pulsed violently. "This is it," Alex said. "Time to end their command network." Outside, alarms blared. The ship shuddered as if sensing the attack. The alien overlord's voice boomed again. "You cannot survive what is coming. Your courage is meaningless." Sarah and Hughes reached the central chamber breathless. The alien commanders advanced, energy crackling around them. Sarah fired with precision, taking down two of the closest attackers. Hughes moved to shield her, firing relentlessly. Alex typed rapidly at the console. "Core is unstable. We only have seconds." "Do it!" Hughes shouted. The sphere flared. Brighter tendrils of energy snapping outward. The humans dodged and fired, pushing forward with ruthless efficiency. Sarah felt the energy brushing past her, but she didn't falter. Each movement was precise, each strike calculated. Finally, Alex hit the final sequence. A massive wave of energy erupted from the core, sending the alien commanders flying. The sphere collapsed inward, and the ship's systems began to shut down. The hum of power faded into silence. Sarah dropped to the floor, breathing heavily. "Is it over?" Alex shook his head. "The immediate threat is gone, but the ship isn't destroyed. And they'll rebuild. They always do." Hughes looked around, grim determination in his eyes. "Then we make sure they can't threaten Earth again. We finish the job next time. No mistakes. The humans regrouped, battered but alive." Sarah helped a wounded soldier to his feet. "We survived," she said softly. "But at what cost? They were just the first line. Something bigger is out there." Alex stared at the fading energy of the ship's core. "We've sent a message. Humans are not to be underestimated. But this is only the beginning. The real enemy is still out there, watching, waiting." Hughes clenched his fists. "Then let them wait. We'll be ready. They may be powerful, but we're smarter, faster, and ruthless. They wanted soldiers. We gave them executioners." Sarah nodded, feeling a surge of determination. "And next time, we make sure they never forget it." Outside, the alien planet was calm, but far above, distant ships blinked into existence. The humans had won the first battle, but the war for survival had only just begun. The alien ship was silent now, its once bright corridors dim and lifeless. Sparks flickered from broken panels as smoke curled through the hallways. The soldiers moved cautiously, their weapons raised. Every step echoed, a reminder that even in victory, danger still lingered. Sarah Carter scanned the corridor ahead, her jaw tight. "Feels too easy," she whispered. "They're planning something. I can feel it." Alex adjusted the scope on his rifle, eyes sharp. "They're regrouping. This wasn't their whole force. This ship was only a piece of something bigger." Hughes checked his communicator. "Command says our ship is on its way to pick us up, but until we're back in orbit, we're still in enemy territory." Sarah sighed. "We've destroyed their core, crippled their ship. What else could they throw at us?" Before anyone could answer, the floor beneath them trembled. A low rumble filled the corridor, followed by the sound of grinding metal. Alex spun around. "That sound's coming from below us. Move!" They sprinted as the floor cracked open, revealing a massive spider-like war machine climbing out from the depths. Its 8 metal limbs scraped the walls, and glowing red eyes locked onto the humans. Hughes cursed under his breath. That's what they were hiding. The machine fired beams of energy, scorching the floor where Sarah had been standing seconds earlier. She dove behind a fallen console, returning fire. "How many of these things do they have?" Alex's voice was calm but urgent. "Doesn't matter. We take this one down fast." The team scattered, moving with precision. Bullets pinged against the machine's armored legs, barely leaving scratches. Hughes threw a grenade, but the explosion only staggered it for a moment. "Its armor's too thick!" he shouted. Sarah's eyes darted to the ceiling. "The support beams. If we bring the ceiling down, it'll crush it." "Good thinking," Alex said. He sprinted forward, firing at the beams while dodging energy blasts. The machine roared in mechanical fury, swiping at him with one of its massive limbs. Sarah provided cover fire, her shots precise, striking at the machine's sensors. "Keep its attention on me!" she yelled. Alex planted explosives along the beams. Charges set! Everyone fall back! They ran as the machine advanced, its glowing eyes flashing. Alex hit the detonator. The ceiling above groaned, then collapsed with a deafening crash. The spider machine screeched as tons of metal crushed it beneath the rubble, sparks flying. The corridor fell silent except for the soldiers' heavy breathing. Hughes let out a low whistle. That's one problem solved. Sarah wiped sweat from her brow. Too many close calls. We need to get out of here before they throw something worse at us. Alex nodded, already scanning the map on his wrist display. Extraction point is 2 levels up, but there's movement all over this ship. They're not done yet. The team moved quickly through the darkened halls, stepping over alien bodies and broken machinery. The smell of burnt metal and strange alien fluids filled the air. Sarah felt a knot in her stomach. We've made them bleed, she murmured. That means they'll come for Earth harder than ever. Hughes glanced at her. Then we make Earth ready. They won't know what hit them. The soldiers reached a wide hangar bay where their extraction ship was waiting. Its engines glowed blue, casting light over the ruins. Just as they approached, alarms blared again. Doors at the far end of the hangar opened, revealing a group of alien leaders. Tall, armored, and armed with glowing weapons, they stepped forward. In silence, Alex raised his rifle. They're here for a fight. The aliens moved as one, surrounding the humans with cold precision. Their leader, towering above the rest, spoke in a deep voice that rattled through the hangar. Humans, you are dangerous, reckless. You kill without fear. But you cannot stop what is coming. Sarah stepped forward, her voice steady. Try us. The leader tilted its head, studying her. You are predators, like us once, but predators do. Not rule forever. You will fall. Hughes fired the first shot. Not today. Chaos erupted. The hangar filled with gunfire and energy blasts. The soldiers moved like shadows, ruthless and efficient. Alex's precision shots dropped enemies one by one, while Sarah charged forward, cutting down any alien that stood in her way. Hughes covered them, his weapon roaring. Despite being outnumbered, the humans fought with a ferocity that shocked. Their enemies, the aliens, fell back, disorganized, unprepared for such brutal tactics. Sarah grabbed a fallen alien weapon and fired it at the leader, striking its armor and forcing it to retreat. Now, Alex yelled, get to the ship. The team sprinted toward the extraction vessel as Hughes fired one last burst, dropping the final alien soldier. They boarded, and the ship's doors sealed shut. Punch it, Hughes ordered. The engines roared, lifting them out of the hangar and into the alien planet's sky. The massive enemy ship below smoldered, its systems damaged but not destroyed. Sarah watched from the viewport, her expression hard. They'll be back. That wasn't their whole fleet. That was just a warning. Alex sat beside her, reloading. His rifle. Then we prepare. Next time we take the fight to them. As the ship broke through the planet's atmosphere, Earth's blue glow came into view on the navigation screen. The soldiers sat in silence, exhausted but alive. For now they had won, but victory felt heavy, like the calm before a storm. Hughes finally spoke. We showed them what humans can do. They wanted soldiers. They got executioners. Sarah leaned, back in her seat, her voice quiet but firm. And executioners don't stop. They keep hunting until the job's done. Alex glanced out the window at the stars beyond Earth. Then it's time we start planning the next move, because whatever's coming, we'll be ready. In the darkness of space, hundreds of alien ships stirred in silence, watching the humans leave. The war wasn't over, it had only begun. But the galaxy now knew one thing. Earth was not prey. Earth was a predator.